Good morning. I'm happy to be here with Governor Walz and Majority Leader Gazelka. You have all observed that too often Minnesota's budget drafting process has resulted in a game of high-stakes poker at the end of the session. And Minnesotans and their elected representatives and senators deserve a better process than having 3 or 5 leaders in a back room deciding everything in the last few days of session. In 2005, we had a state government shutdown due to budget talk failures. 2011, we had that. 2015, we had a failed bonding bill because of huge errors in the bill. Several bills were passed very late with members saying, I haven't had any time to read this. 2016, we had no tax, no bonding, no final deal. And 2017 was perhaps the worst case of budget setting in recent memory in my service in 14 years. We had a poison pill inserted, shutting down the Department of Revenue if a certain bill wasn't signed. We had the line item veto of the legislative budget, a lawsuit between the executive and the legislative branch, mediation, risk of some legislative staff going without pay. And in 2018, we had the 990-page Omnibus Prime, where in the ultimate game of high-stakes poker, everything was shoved into a 990-page bill that ultimately did not become law. So it's time to do things a little bit differently, and it's time for us to have some benchmarks that we need to meet prior to the May 20th adjournment. So the agreement that we are announcing today puts us on a pathway to have more of the budget conversations in public and puts us on a pathway to end the session on time with more legislators involved in the bill drafting process.
Good morning. This is an opportunity that we haven't had in a number of decades, and that is actually where the process has moved up a little bit, so there's more involvement from many legislators, not just a few, and where we give more time for the governor to engage as well. And as you know, Minnesota seems to like divided government, and we have divided government again. But that doesn't mean that we have to be divided on everything. And this is one of the important things that we can do, and that is try to move the process up a little bit earlier so not just all legislators can engage more, but also the governor and the speaker and myself can engage more as we move to the end of the process. So this is an opportunity. We set out our normal first 3 deadlines, but then we have 3 other dates as far as how we move things and when we move things. And those are important and won't be easy. It won't be easy to get those done or agree to different points as we've marked out on the letter. But that is our commitment. We want the process to work, and we want Minnesota to engage at a deeper level.
Well, good morning, everyone, and a special thank you to these 2 leaders, to Senate Leader Gazelka and Speaker Hortman. This is what Minnesotans expect. I am proud to be here with them, and as we talked about, giving Minnesotans certainty in their process, giving them clarity, and as we were just discussing, when the parameters are laid out as they are here, it will enhance the debates. There will be, I'm sure, some debates over a budget when we unveil it. That's the way it's supposed to be. And if that's done in a healthy manner, if it is done with some clear-cut expectations, and with it being done that all of those members of the House and the Senate have the ability to engage and they are working closely with the administrative branch to get that done, that's good for Minnesotans. So I'm here today just first of all to thank these 2 leaders for including us, to show ourselves as true partners in this process of setting up those parameters, having some rule of the roads, having some expectations, including Minnesotans and their legislature at a deeper and at the start of this process just makes good sense. And I noted earlier before we came in here, I think another person who will be happy with this is Commerce Commissioner Franz, who I think would rather us do this on the front end than work on those late nights with 1,000-page bills as things are changing. So congratulations to both of you for bringing this together, and thank you for deciding that government can work better, that we can collaborate on at least the basic premise of how we debate, and then let's have those healthy, spirited debates in the best interest of Minnesota. So with that, any questions?
What does it say about our state of politics that you're having a press conference to announce that you're going to do what you're elected to do in the first place, which is to get things done on time?
Well, it says the bar's pretty low, I guess, for starters. And I've always said this, I don't think you should be expected to get a pat on the back for doing the things you're supposed to do. But I do think there's something to be said that the state of this is once again, that Minnesota is going to take a lead in a very fractured political environment across the country. And these two leaders chose very early to do this. And I agree with you on this, that our hope is this becomes the norm and this is the expectations, but it hasn't been for a long time. So it's a start.
Sorry. Let me address that just a little bit too, because we've had a conversation between the three of us. All three of us are pretty pragmatic, and so we want processes in place that you can actually talk through. And I mean, 2 years ago, I did a press conference on targets and where we were going to be, and nobody seemed to be that interested. But this is really an important step.
You know, and I would say that legislating is like farming or sports. You can't cram. So if you don't have interim deadlines and markers that you're reaching in your training or in your planting schedule, you can't expect the harvest to be ready on time. And so by us agreeing that we are going to have bills going into conference on May 1st and agreeing that we will give at least fiscal targets by May 6th, and we will have conference committee reports back on the desks of the respective bodies by May 13th, that gives us that whole additional last week to iron out the inevitable problems. And that time period between when the conference committees get the fiscal targets and when the conference committee chairs bring their reports back to the respective floors, that whole bill drafting process will now happen in public. You will have Chair Michelle Benson and Chair Tina Liebling and Chair Jim Abler talking in public about how are we going to meet this fiscal target that the leaders have agreed to. And the reason we're announcing this publicly instead of having this be a deal between the three of us is we fully expect you will hold us accountable to meet these deadlines, and that public pressure will be good for the process.
Another approach to avoiding this whole omnibus prime thing is one that's going to drop this week, a constitutional amendment to, as I understand it, the bill would refuse to allow any bill to grow after it's introduced. So it wouldn't be permissible to have it roll into a larger omnibus bill. And in addition to that, they want to have sort of a continuing resolution. Those are all going to be part of a single bill. Any appetite for that sort of thing?
Well, I would say on the single subject thing, that's really an issue of legislative leadership, of not using the process of high-stakes poker to put everything in one bill. And so that's a matter that we can deal with by good governing. I think getting an agreement on a continuing appropriations measure, this has been the kind of nirvana we've talked about since the 2005 shutdown in my legislative experience. And it would be as difficult to come up with a continuing appropriations agreement that doesn't benefit conservatives or liberals as it would be to craft a budget. So I think our time's better spent crafting a budget.
How much danger is there in setting the bar so high, the three of you getting along, setting deadlines? Typically, this thing doesn't end well and special sessions are the norm.
The reason why we came out public is to add that extra pressure. We all know, and I've had conversation particularly with the speaker, that there is a risk in doing this for us. But I hope that we, as we move towards the end and the pressure builds and we're standing for the things that we believe in, that we're careful with how we speak to each other during that time, because setting this out there without a doubt has risk, but we think it's in the benefit of Minnesota to do it.
Governor Walz, could you address this as well? And speak to the mandate coming fresh off the electorate and you running on bipartisan cooperation.
You've heard me say that many times, that the public is looking for this process to work and looking for the healthy debate as much as they're looking for specific policy proposals. And I, again, am here to congratulate and to thank, and acknowledging this point that the bar is pretty low, but think about that this press conference and this announcement is coming against the backdrop of 4 days from another government shutdown. That cannot continue. And I think that mandate, if you will, from the public was to try and do things like this. So yes, there was some risks involved, but that's our job to do that. And I actually think that you are going to get much healthier, more substantive policy debates because of this being done this way, which I think, and I think the three of our opinion is, your chances are better than of reaching some compromises if those are done that way. But I'm just really appreciative, and I think it's certainly we're partners in this, that I like the idea of the public pressure forcing us to reach some of these compromises and not just digging in and business as usual.
Governor, the final paragraph here is kind of the key one, where it says maybe additional issues to resolve. And one of the things that has caused a lot of problems is policy provisions in omnibus bills. You know, your predecessor was very strong on that. I'm wondering what message you're sending to the leaders and Senator Gazelka in particular, and then Senator Gazelka, if you can talk about our policy issues going to be poison pills, or maybe I shouldn't term it that way, be in these omnibus bills.
Well, there's an art and a science to this, and probably more art and a little bit of luck towards legislating. But with that being said, that we can do multiple things at one time. And I want to make clear that policy proposals are critically important. But we have to have some agreements on when we're going to reach loggerheads over those. And I think there's going to be times, this whole thing about be very careful you don't show how important this is to you because they'll hold you over the barrel on that. There's certainly something to be said about a little bit of that. But I have to say with these two leaders, there's been pretty much cards on the table. This is where our positions are. How do we reach some compromises and how do we get there? And I think I'm not telling you that we're not going to have deep policy discussions during this. What I am saying is I think they're going to come in an orderly manner to not distract us from other work that needs to happen too.
Yeah. Frankly, I couldn't have said that better. Policy will always be part of the discussion. We're all passionate about things. Some of those things are different. And so how do we work towards the end? Well, that's why we've set this out. That last paragraph we all talked about and agreed to, because we all know that that has to be part of the end game.
Do you think, Mr. Leader, that there's a possibility that some policy provisions might be included in omnibus bills for leverage purposes?
Well, sure, there always is, and it doesn't, it may be something I want, it may be something the governor wants or the speaker wants. That's part of the process. We just want it to be more open, more transparent, and more time for people to weigh in, so yeah.
Governor, did you deliver a message about omnibus bills, the types you might accept, the types you will not accept? During election, you talked a lot about this massive omnibus bill, and it sounded like you would have vetoed that had you been governor.
Yeah, I think all of us did, but the one thing I want to be very careful of is that legislative process should be left to the legislators. And I believe strongly that you get better government while you allow this process to work its way through the regular order. What I've said is, and I think I'm hearing it both from the speaker and the leader, is it's our intention not to have those happen. The reason those things got there was a flawed process, not just the nature of what they were. So we're certainly, if there can be some agreements, and again, I know the single subject issue is near and dear to many people's hearts, but the reality is of sometimes having to try and find ways that we can compromise to combine things, we're going to do that. But it's not the omnibus, if you will, by itself. It's how we got to that point that troubles me.
Whose idea was it to go public with this?
So I started this conversation with the leaders that were in place in the fall of 2017, saying, like, this is really rock bottom. We don't know for sure if we can pay our staff, and this process is broken. I think there are more pieces we can look at to move the budget setting process earlier. Senator Gazelka and I are talking about having maybe some public meetings after the Senate has budget targets and the House has budget targets to have a public conversation comparing the budget targets. But really, when you think about it, the whole legislative session this year, the work is crafting a $47 billion budget based on data that we don't get until February 28th. And so what are the ways in which we should continue to look at reforming this process so we can get the work started earlier? Now, this year is the first time since 2011 we've had new leadership in one of the legislative bodies and new leadership in the governor's office at the same time. So it makes a lot of sense that as we've had to hire our whole team, and they're just getting up and rolling, this is a slower start than your ordinary session and even your ordinary budget session. But we have to continue to look at what's happened in the past, how has it worked, and how can we make it better? And another key thing I'd just throw out there is we now have 5.5 million people living in the state of Minnesota and a state budget that will be around $47 billion. You can't do that in 3 weeks. You can't do that in a week, and you certainly can't do it in 3 or 4 days. You know, maybe you could do a budget for 2.5 million people at $20 billion in a much shorter timeline, but it's a very complicated endeavor, setting the budget for the state of Minnesota, and we need to make sure we have the time that it deserves.
Speaker, you mentioned it's a slower start. Okay.
Because the last couple of years, we tried to get to three-way targets where the governor and the House and Senate agreed, and we could never get there right away. And so that's part of where this process came from. We first talked about a letter, but then I think we just all agreed that a press conference, tells you that we mean business about this.
How about the slower start? The speaker just mentioned it. Even the governor last week kind of hinted that he thought the Senate was maybe off to a little slower start and moving a little more slowly than he was comfortable with. There was a lot of promises. Sorry, it happened. There were promises.
The House, not
It's
the
all
Senate.
relative on how you measure that.
But I think he was talking about the state Senate too, in this case, while mentioning the federal Senate moved too slowly
more
for
so
you
that's
too.
the standard,
What about the early victories though?
no,
If I
and
could, there was a
if-
promise of some early
No,
wins
if I
and
could, and
victories.
that was the standard joke, as I am still shedding my former House member thing of
Keep that
looking to the
loyalty
Senate.
as much
I
as you
don't-
want.
I don't think that's true in that, and that was certainly meant in jest, that I think they're moving at the pace. And I need to be, I think, very clear about this, that respecting the pace and the way that they're moving is what the leaders know best. They know what it's going to take to go through. What may look like a slow process or a disjointed process from the outside, I understand, of being a member of these bodies, there's a lot of moving pieces that are happening, and I think it's important for us to give them clear expectations of where we're going and for them to know. And we will be, as directed by law, on the 19th of February, putting out a budget, but as the speaker said, with an eye towards revenues that appear like maybe are not going to be where they were originally projected back as we get to February 28th. That all takes adjustments, and that's compressing the time.
What about those issues though? Opioid abuse, elder abuse, there was thought there would be some really early legislation moving on that.
Well, if we get it done before March, it is early.
That's right.
And a couple, certainly the opioid abuse bill, I believe, will get done before the end of March. No, did I say that right? Before the end of March, yes. And I think the hands-free bill, that's moving forward. So those are some that we talked about early. The process just takes some time, but we've had very good conversations about that, and the governor said if they get to his desk, he'll sign it. So early as the end of March at the
And
latest.
elder care too, that was mentioned as you thought you'd get that done early. That seems to be
The
moving slow.
portion of it related to the cameras and being able to monitor, I believe will get done early.
Folks, we have time for one more question.
Let me ask you something. Are all your members on board with this? And then also, what if, let's just say hypothetically, in the last couple weeks of April, things aren't moving along? What are you folks going to be doing as leaders here?
Very, very good question, because when the Speaker Hortman and I talked about this, can we actually do this, I went back to my caucus and asked about that. And they, I think, to a person, said that this would be a good idea, because they get to be more involved and the public gets to be more involved. So, yeah, they're very much on board.
Governor Walz,
When
what's
I-
your plan?
Yeah, when I approached Senator Gazelka, I had a feeling he might be able to get support from his caucus, because legislators are as frustrated as the public at the end of session when they're running around in this building and they have no idea what is the deal going to look like on taxes or Health and Human Services finance. That is why they ran for office, is to do this work. And what we've laid out is a way for them to be more involved in all the decisions.
Governor, is tomorrow the deadline for you to ask the PUC for reconsideration of the decision on Enbridge Line 3?
It is tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and you can expect to, as prescribed by law, that we will have a statement out and be prepared to answer any questions on that decision.
Are you
So,
able to tell us at this point, will the process proceed in terms of an appeal?
not at this time, and we're still doing what we've always pledged, is we're working with stakeholders and making sure that we're sitting down with them individually, and of course, later today, the leadership will be informed of where that decision comes down. And the reasoning behind it, I think, is important.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank